If you are on WhatsApp, you have just under 1 month to accept its new terms and conditions. Fail to do so, and you'll be kicked out of the service. The mobile messaging platform has announced its new privacy policy, and that was last week. It will be able now to access your location, number, and other data for advertisers. Many users say they are not having it. Millions around the world are already switching to other platforms like Telegram. Information systems specialist Dr. Sibongiseni Tunzelana Tosejane is with us now to unpack what this is all about and if there are any alternatives. Dr. Tunzelana Tosejane, thank you very much for your time this morning. I wanted to make sure I get your surname right and not mess it up. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate you making the time. Many people seem to be making decisions already around to WhatsApp or not to WhatsApp. But just broadly, from your understanding, what is this really all about? Because it involves Facebook, and we know a couple of years ago, Mark Zuckerberg was taken to task at the US Congress in those hearings around about Facebook at the time having lied about its access to people's private information.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Don Moyane. Good morning to your viewers at home and listeners, being conscious of people who are deaf and blind. I just want to highlight that the trigger actually was a pop-up message that came on WhatsApp to the WhatsApp subscribers, which are more than 2 billion subscribers in the world. So when you have that amount of captive audience, offline and online, we must remember that the same people who are online are the same people who are offline. There are more devices than people. So people who are actually subscribers, it's a captive audience for Facebook. So as Mark Zuckerberg, as you rightfully said, is being taken to task by the US Congress, he did lie under oath, and also they had acquired Facebook, they have acquired WhatsApp by Facebook since 2014. If you see at the bottom of WhatsApp, at the bottom of the screen, there's always a Facebook imprint. That deal was long closed in 2014. So the reason people are waking up now is because of the pop-up message that gives people till before the 8th of February 2021 to agree. And it just highlights the key policy and privacy terms. It's not even giving the people the simple understanding. We don't even read the terms and conditions. So just the highlighted key privacy terms are being given and almost like nudging and forcefully giving people a short amount of time. They are doing this because they are running out of time. So if they could get people to opt in without them understanding what they're opting into, then it will strengthen their case, which they're still busy under. And also, it will integrate their data. So the data, as much as they claim to encrypt it end to end, they still have more data, metadata. This is data about the data, that they can use it for their own ends and increase profitability. You have WhatsApp for personal usage, you have WhatsApp business, and you have WhatsApp payments. This is data that could talk more about the people banking patterns, the people's banking behavioral understanding, and how they use the tool to actually conduct business. So now WhatsApp will have this power and to use this data for their own ends. 2 billion user subscribers is a good collateral to online and offline.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge customer base, I guess, for advertisers and stuff. And if you were Mark Zuckerberg and you were the owners of Facebook, you have this database that is on a platform that you bought with billions of dollars 6 years ago, or 7 years ago now, in 2014. You'd want to mine it somehow. But should they be doing it in a way that would possibly undermine your privacy? Is there another way?
The thing is, as soon as we have a smartphone, privacy is already compromised. Online and offline, our privacy is compromised. It's just that the digital world accelerates it that much further. We will be hacked. And also, a lot of people are not quite aware. There is limited information and knowledge about self-sovereign data. We don't respect and we don't understand the value of our data treasures. The fact that your ID number is a data treasure needs to be enhanced and made people to aware. That's just one type of data type. So we need, as people, to understand the ownership of our data and how to manage it, and also classify the types of data. We've got open and public data, and then we've got private and confidential data.
Now, what do you do? What do you do as an individual? I mean, what you're saying sort of makes sense, that you must manage your data, treat it as a treasure. But 2 billion, you're one of the 2 billion on WhatsApp currently. There could be other platforms where, as you've said, your personal data is already compromised because, as you said, as soon as you own a smartphone, you are already, compromised in one way or another. So what can you do?
And that's just the tip of an iceberg, Mr. Moyane. So we can't do it alone as individuals, so individually and together. So firstly, we need to educate ourselves, like digital literacy and how to behave online and offline about our data ownership. So for example, it starts from the infrastructure level. So in South Africa, we have fiber optic network plant that's proudly South African owned. Even from the infrastructure level, they can listen to our data, they can hear it, they can encrypt it and decrypt it from infrastructure level. So we've got Commissioner Nomsokana, who has innovated a fiber optic network from infrastructure level, but we're not using it as South Africans. We're not we need to own platforms.
Well, I was not even aware that such a, I was not even aware that there's such a South African owned fiber. Now, at a very simple level, should I now come the 7th of February, delete my WhatsApp stuff and migrate to Telegram? I've downloaded the Telegram app. I mean, since last week, this story has been buzzing around the world. And just yesterday, they sent out information to say Telegram has now surpassed 500 million active users in the past 72 hours alone. That was yesterday. More than 25 million new users. And on my contact base, I'm seeing friends and relatives and colleagues moving to Telegram or downloading Telegram at least. So is Telegram also safe, or our data is also compromised there?
The fact that it announces to all of you guys when you enter, it just shows you something. It tells you something. The broadcast announcement that Mr. Dan Moyane just joined Telegram to everyone who's been there since 2018, its inception. So we've been watching you guys doing the exodus and moving, even people that you've been deleted on your machine or on your smartphone. There's the broadcast announcement that you've just landed. There are different people who are reacting differently to that. How compromised are you with this broadcast announcement? And Telegram, since its inception, has never done a broadcast announcement of congratulating the growth of its users.
I wish we had more time. Sorry, Doctor, to cut you short there. I wish we had more time to talk about this, because so many questions are now popping up. But you've made a very valid point recently. I mean, just a short while ago, that we need to be digitally literate. So among other literacies we need to come to terms with, that all of us now individually need to really get up to speed in understanding this digital world, because a pandemic like COVID-19 has taught us and is making us to use more of these platforms. I mean, many of us are now using Zooms, using Skypes and Microsoft Teams, and all these are in the digital world. And our privacy is now like laid bare in every corner of this digital world.
The truth of the matter and the fact of the matter is that our privacy will be compromised. So we need help. Like, there's a protection of Private and Personal Information Act that will need to be complied with in South Africa by the 1st of July 2021. The President made an announcement on His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa on the 1st of July 2020 to say companies, citizens have 12 months to understand the Protection of Personal Information Act. There are very limited awareness sessions about this, and also what does it mean to a citizen? How do I get my rights? It's not even enforced yet. So right now, black men, you're on your own right now till then, and even then, we will need specialists and data scientists and policymakers to understand how to implement and let this policy protect us. So there's another tool called Signal. There's also been an exodus to Signal. So there's this thing of trying to get the monopoly decentralized. One of the things that people could do today and do now regarding this issue is there are movements. For example, there's an organization called inrupt.com and also the pods, where people are learning how to own their data and how to manage their data. This was started by the people who started the internet, Tim Bayers. These movements are in Germany, in the UK, in the US. South Africa doesn't have that kind of movement where they teach you how to have your own drive, your own server at home, because it's where you store your data, really. Where is your data hosted? And also how encrypted it is. How do people classify their data, their public and open data, and then their private and confidential data? So how do you respond also after you've been hacked? We will be hacked. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of this bad news. But then how do we then respond after a hack and after our privacy is being compromised?
It's such a complex...
It is a complex issue, but there are workarounds and the things we can do today.
But we need to get up to speed with it. But the reality now is that many of us who are part of the 2 billion in the world who are on WhatsApp are really caught in that web, and we'll find it very hard to extricate ourselves. And it's going to take time to get digitally literate, as you are proposing here, and to find out from these other platforms that are coming up to say. But very briefly, should I stay on WhatsApp or should I leave WhatsApp?
So it depends on your appetite, on your public and open data. So your data is already open and it's already public, and it will be aggravated. It will be more public and more open. And also it will be used for more commercial reasons and more. There are good things about WhatsApp. So what about your people, the people you're there for? Are they also migrating or not? It's already compromised. We're already limited.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. Thank you very much, Sibongiseni, for your time. Dr. Tunzelana Tosejane, we really appreciate it. It's a complex web. We need to get to grips with it, but we are where we are. People are going to have to make their decisions themselves, what to do. Just be aware that you are already, your personal data has been compromised for a long time, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or whatever you're doing, it's already there. But maybe the point she's making is that all of us, to some level, because we are now in this digital world, is going nowhere slowly. We need to become more and more digitally literate.